Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog, and welcome back to episode number 5 of the C6 Corvette Widebody project. Now, if you watched episodes 1 through 4, which should have been up for a little while by now, episode 1, we picked up the ACI widebody kit. Episode number 2, we took off the rear quarter panels. Episode 3, we installed the ACI widebody quarter panels. Episode 4, we took off the front bumper. You would expect episode 5 to be installing the new front bumper. Well, there's a problem with that because the new one is a Z06 front bumper. We still have base front fenders on. That's just not going to work. That's not how it works. Instead, this video is going to be us removing the front fenders, and then next video we will test fit the front fenders and install them and install the Z06 front bumper. Then we're going to work about these headlights. I showed you in the last video these headlights just look horrible. This is actually the better of the two because this one here is absolutely garbage. I do have new lenses for them, and we're going to do black housing. So apparently we're going to turn into bakers and put those headlights in the oven to separate them, and that's absolutely terrifying because I've never done that before. I'm learning. I want to help you learn, and we're going to learn together. Let's go ahead and start this fender removal process. But first, somebody on Facebook in one of the Corvette groups asked what this car sounded like. I think there's some cold starts on, I think, a couple of the older Corvette videos, but if not, I'm gonna give you a cold start up. Exhaust setup, Hooker, Blackheart, shorty headers. I think it's got the stock mid pipe, and this is the SLP catback. We are going to be going with Speed Engineering long tubes and X pipe, and I don't know if I'm gonna keep the SLP kind of, I guess, axle back or whatever you want to call it, exhaust, to go with just the full Speed Engineering kind of straight pipe deal. But anyway, let me put you guys on a tripod for a second, give you a cold start up. So it is stock cam, it's stock pretty much everything except for the exhaust, and it has a BBK intake that you've probably seen in the front bumper removal video. But it sounds pretty good for what it is. But hopefully after all of the body work and everything is done and the interior work is done, we can start on a little bit of performance mods for this car. Because if you look, a lot of the interior is already out of it. It is an absolute mess. The head unit, if you watch some of the older videos, I did an install on that. It's the Atoto A6 Pro, and it's freaking awesome. So anyway, guys, there's your cold start up. So let's go ahead and get started taking off these front fenders. Okay, so now we got the hood back open. So we need to finish taking off the T15 Torx bolts from the top of the fender. If you watched the last video, to get the bumper off, we did have to take some of these off. So that's why those are already out. But we're going to take this one off, slide this piece off, and then there's one back here behind this as well. Okay, now that we have all of the Torx bits out from all the way up the fender, we need to remove this little bolt. I believe this is a 7mm, and we have this on both sides, and that is the last bolt, I believe, on the top of the fenders. All right, so welcome back to the driver's side of the old C6 Vet here. So what we're going to do, and I've already done, is pop out what is supposed to be 4 of these little push pins. And if you don't have these clip removal tools, I suggest that you either hop on Amazon, go to your local hardware store or Harbor Freight and pick these up. I picked up 6 of these for like $9 at Harbor Freight, and they are a lifesaver, even though you still kind of have to wrestle with them. All you're going to do is take those out, and then this whole thing is going to pop off. So we'll just lay that to the side. Now, I think that there is some bolts here on the bottom of the fender, a 7mm here and a 7mm back here, which will release the bottom part of the fender, and then we have to slide this inner fender to the side, and there is that little guy right there that we have to take off. So we got that off, but we had to improvise a little bit. It takes 2 of the 3-inch extensions and then a deep well socket to get all the way back there, and even then you still have to stick your entire like screwdriver way back in here. So you actually have these 2 little clips here that holds this bracket on the back side of this. So what we're going to do is just remove the bracket with the fender. That way we can try to salvage these clips, because these little clips break very, very easy. So we can get them off, heat them up, bend them, and actually take them off the right way. I think this is a 10 millimeter, so let's take that off, and then the fender should be ready to come off. All right, guys, so that 10 millimeter nut is off, so I believe the fender we can raise up and completely remove. So we now have the driver's side front fender off that we're going to lay over here. We will choose a nice spot on top of the Raptor, and this is the bracket that we'll be swapping over for the new fender. Like I said, it's these clips right here that actually go through the back side of this, and they're a little bit of a pain to get off, and that's what actually kind of holds this bracket with the studs to the fender. We will be removing this at some point to put on the new fenders. So we have front bumper off from episode number 4, front fender off from this episode, which is episode number 5. So we're going to move over to the other side. I won't show you the other side until we get it off, because I've showed you how to take it off on this side. Hopefully we don't find any damage on the other side, because that seems to be where all the damage on this car was. All right, guys, so like I said, I wasn't going to show you this whole thing. It was still the same thing. 4 clips, 1 fender bolt back there, 2 7 millimeters down on the bottom, and the T15 Torx bolts on the top, as well as the 10 millimeter nut on the bottom of this bolt that comes through the bracket, and it should lift right off. All right, guys, so let me give you a walk around of where we're at right now. So the front bumper has been removed in the last episode. This episode we have removed the driver's side fender, passenger side fender. To accomplish that, we removed the T15 Torx bits all the way from the top here. On this one, there is a cover. There is a Torx bit that you unscrew and the cover pops off, and you got one back here. You have a 7 millimeter bolt that comes right here and mounts the fender from the inside. You have 2 7 millimeters on the bottom. You have 4 push tabs that line the inner fender to unhook it. Then you have a 10 millimeter nut right here, a 7 millimeter nut that goes to the side of the headlight that mounts the fender to the headlight. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for episode number 5 of the C6 wide body build. So if this has helped you in any way, if you like the series, if you like the rest of the content, because we got some other stuff getting ready to happen as well with the other cars, the 350Z, the Mustang, the 3000 GT, and then we're going to go back with some off-road and on-road content on motorcycles as well. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. I would like to get to 3K by the end of the July, and I think we're only like 110 away. So if you're watching this, hit that red subscribe button, help your boy out, and I'll see you guys on the next video.